I'd like to introduce my boys. This is Chucko, and this is Buster, and this is Pete. I'm David Lynch, and this is Bob, and this is Dan.
Hey everyone! Welcome to Straitjacket Talk After Dark, the show where we're going to let you know what we've been up to. What have we been watching, reading, listening to, or gaming? I watched the movie Strange Darling recently, and in it, there was the actor Kyle Gallner, I believe is how you pronounce his name. I've known him from such movies as Jennifer's Body, and he was in the show Veronica Mars in a smaller type of role. I wanted to check out a couple of his newer movies. One of them was called The Passenger.
Why are you doing this?
Because, Randy, I have been watching you. You are 20 years old, and you are already more pathetic than every person in this godforsaken town, and that bugs me. But there's something about you. There's something fixable. I'm in hell when you were standing there, watching me.
Really a good watch. It was pretty much like a two-man show. He plays this kind of outlaw kid who befriends another younger kid. I don't know if they're kids, actually. They're like younger men. They're
probably Kyle Gallner is a little bit old to be playing a kid at this point.
Yeah. I think they're like in their 20s. Christ, everyone to us is getting like kids now, but
yeah. Like you're under 30.
Yeah.
I'm calling you kid.
They're younger men that have this budding friendship. The problem, though, is Kyle Gallner plays a role where he's kind of a crazy psychopath and murders a bunch of people, then decides not to kill this friend that he's made and instead help this friend. And he basically kidnaps this friend and takes him on a journey to try to help his life out and try to get him from this kind of feeble, a coward type of person to being a strong, self-reliant person. Like I said, it's really a two-man show. It's really good. It's not a long movie, and I think it's worth the watch. My second movie, though, is the one I want to recommend to like everybody because it's one of my new favorite movies of all time. It's called Dinner in America.
They upped the reward. They said you assaulted some lady. Tried to burn her house down?
You see anyone suspicious running around back here?
You got someplace around here we can go?
This movie is so fucking good. I'm trying to think about how I want to explain this without giving spoilers because
that can be tough.
Yeah. He plays this guy who lives, again, kind of outside society a little bit and societal norms. He does things his own way, and he befriends a girl who is different, and he basically tries to give her confidence and believe in her a little bit and give her like some kind of strong and self-reliance too. So there is kind of similarities with The Passenger, but this movie I think is done really, really well where you get this comedy influence, and there's a lot of comedy that happens in this. It's very much like SLC Punk a little bit. There's a very punk vibe to this movie. The soundtrack is awesome. It is a very like punk rock movie. It's against society, the societal norms, but it's also done with a flair of comedy, and I think it's done really well. The acting is phenomenal, and it takes you on a journey with these characters and the characters they meet, and a lot of it revolves around a dinner table and who these people are, and we meet different people throughout, and it's done really well. It's a really good character study, I think, especially of families and different type of families and things like that. So I definitely recommend it. It is a different sort of movie too, so I think that's cool, and it really is one that I think leaves a lasting impression. But that's it for me. How about you, Gill?
So for It's Lace podcast, we just did an episode on the 80s sci-fi horror movie called Altered States.
In the basement of one of the country's leading medical schools, Dr. Edward Jessup, candidate for a Nobel Prize, is conducting the most dangerous experiment in the history of science. and the subject of the experiment is himself.
That was an interesting movie. The premise of it is it's kind of like The Fly, but it's this scientist who found this drug in Mexico, and every time he takes it, it's kind of like DMT, and he's like close to discovering like the truth of life or whatever, and it's very nihilistic.
I've never heard of it before.
I've heard the name, and that's it. That's all I know.
It wasn't my favorite, but it's about a man turning into this like monster monkey, basically.
Well, that sounds fun to me.
Is it worth a watch?
Yeah, it's worth a watch. You guys actually might like it more than I did. It was okay. I also watched Strange Darling, but I'm not going to say anything about it because we're going to talk about it soon. I also watched a movie on Shudder called The Devil's Bath.
Jetzt stehst du auf und zügst dich an.
Wie war das in Teufelsboot?
I've heard a little bit about this one.
You might like it because it's giving very much like Robert Eggers' The Witch. But in Europe, who doesn't love a good like female rage movie?
Yeah.
So if you like The Witch, maybe check that out. Speaking of female rage, I'm also watching a show on Paramount Plus. It's called Why Women Kill.
I was wondering when you'll die. You could be hit by a bus, or have a stroke, or get stabbed in the chest.
You guys heard of that?
You said something about it in the group text at some point.
I did.
Yeah.
There's 2 seasons of it out. I'm on like the season finale of the 2nd season. I just like binged the crap out of this. It's very much up my alley. It's kind of like American Horror Story, but like, I don't know, Stepford Wives a little bit. Like the first season is like very much like Murder House, like season of American Horror Story, but it follows 3 women through like 3 different decades. And how they ended up in like a big mess. It kind of reminds me of the show You as well, because at the end,
I love You.
Yeah. He's seen it. I like it, but yeah, that at the end of every season finale, like shit's gonna hit the fan. Like people are gonna be dead, and kind of the same thing here. And you just like slowly see how that happened, and it's usually men being men. And
tend to
ends in their demise. And I don't know, I really enjoyed it so far. But apart from that, I've been doing some reading. So first one, I'm reading this right now. Ooh. It's the new Grady Hendrix book, Witchcraft for Wayward Girls. It's set in the 70s, and it's about how like there were houses for pregnant, unwed mothers, expecting mothers. So like teenagers and like all these kind of loose, fast women get sent to these homes. And this is about one of those, but there's an element of witchcraft. And so far, it's really good.
Yeah, I'm seeing that book around a lot in the horror community.
Grady Hendrix is very much a celebrated, like, contemporary horror author. And this one just, like, spoke to me personally. And I was waiting for it to come out, like, for months to get my hands on it. And I love it so far. I love books that are set in the 70s for some reason, especially like academia, but also, I don't know, witchcraft or like something paranormal. Right. It just works really well. And there's like no technology, like cell phones and stuff. So I like that. Another book I read, I'm freaking obsessed with this book. It's called Her Soul to Take by Harley LaRue. I got a special edition.
I love that cover.
Yeah. I want to show you. I'm going to take the dust jacket off of it because it's really pretty. But like, look at that.
Oh, that's cool too. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And the inside.
Awesome.
Yeah, very cool.
I really love this book. It's kind of like Lovecraftian horror. It has like old god elements. It has a hot demon boyfriend. It has BDSM.
Up your alley, yeah.
BDSM. It has a bi main character, and her boyfriend is bi. So you can just imagine where that goes. And
That
he's a
sounds
demon.
just as Gill as As Tetsuo the Iron Man seems Nathan,
you
know? Yeah.
Yeah. It's so good. He's a demon, and he's like enslaved by whoever has his grimoire. And it's this like shady family that's like cultists. And she summons him, and it's really good. Love it. Forgot I read this. I read
Terra Nova.
Terra Nova. It's a play on Terra Nova, which is, I think it's the Portuguese name for Newfoundland, where I'm from, the province. And it's an anthology of urban legends and stuff, like little horror stories that are based in Newfoundland. It's written by local authors. I know some of them, like I went to school with some of them. I know the people who own this publishing company, Engine Books. So I've always wanted to like get my hands on one of their books, and I really love it. There's some really good stuff in there, like our folklore. Like one thing is, we call it the hag, but it's like a sleep paralysis demon.
Ooh.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and there's a story in there about that, and I love it because I love that legend. It also, I suffered from sleep paralysis when I was younger, and it was like word for word, like the same thing. It's so weird that we all kind of like have these similar experiences,
right,
in folklore. I read this book, The Coven by Harper L. Woods, and then I also read the sequel, The Cursed, by the same author. It's dark academia in a school for witches. It's about this girl who's a witch, and we got another demon boyfriend from hell. Mm-hmm. He's literally Lucifer. He's Lucifer, and it's kinky, and it was really good, really spicy. But the spiciest one, like if you're looking for a nice spicy book with horror, this is the one. This is the one.
Mm.
But yeah, that's what I've been up to.
Oh, that sounds cool.
Nathan.
So, David Lynch.
We're going to be enjoying blue skies and golden sunshine all along the way.
Recently passed. And he's my favorite director. Unlike most people who are big fans of David Lynch, I actually didn't discover him in my youth. I started watching Twin Peaks around the time I first got sober 11 years ago. And that show helped me through a lot of that type of stuff. And it hit me a little bit harder than most celebrity deaths. And I've been rewatching a lot of his movies. I'm just going to go over some of these real quick because I've already watched them. A couple of them I've already talked about. I rewatched Lost Highway, which is kind of like a neo-noir that's very surreal. Characters are played by more than one actor, and actors play more than one character, and it gets crazy and out there. I rewatched Mulholland Drive because that is, other than Twin Peaks Fire Walk with Me, that's my favorite Lynch movie. And I didn't rewatch Twin Peaks Fire Walk with Me because I can't just watch that whenever I want.
No, you can't.
Because it's extremely upsetting. But Mulholland Drive is an incredible movie. Again, actors playing multiple characters and body swapping and all sorts of crazy stuff going on in that movie. But the one I hadn't seen before is a movie called The Grandmother. It came out in 1970. It's a short film. It's about 35 minutes long. And apparently this is what got him the grant money that he needed to make Eraserhead. It's about a couple of people who grow out of the ground. And they have a child who also grows out of the ground. And they're extremely abusive to this child. Nobody actually says any words. Everybody expresses emotion using the word ma. So ma, and angry ma's and happy ma's, you know. And so the child decides that he needs to go into the seed bag and grow himself a grandmother. Because his grandma will be nice to him. And she is. It's a very tragic movie in a lot of ways. It's really very, very out there. You thought Eraserhead was weird. Well, give him 35 minutes instead of an hour and a half, and he's going to do something even stranger. It's definitely early David Lynch. He definitely needed to get his legs under him a little bit more. This is very, very student film. It's not his best work, but it's really interesting to see sort of where he came from with his really earliest work. I also watched a movie by him. It's a 4-minute short film called 6 Men Getting Sick. And that gives you exactly what it says on the tin. So it's like an animated stop motion thing of 6 men getting sick.
No way.
Yeah, believe it or not.
I would have been upset if there were 6 women getting sick.
Yeah, that would have been the wrong. That's
more
not
healthy.
Yeah, no, healthy men wouldn't have worked either. I got sick last week. And I needed a comfort film.
7 men getting sick.
Yeah, 7 men getting sick.
What is your comfort film? I'm scared.
Crybaby.
It's a place where the pleasures are simple.
You want to ride home with Dad? We can count out-of-state license plates.
Kids help their parents.
He not only vacuums, he does windows.
And squares get the girls.
We'll get married and live in suburbia.
Then came Crybaby Walker.
Yeah! You're looking a rumble, you're looking at me.
I'm so tired of being good.
Okay.
Johnny Depp.
With Johnny Depp, it's a John Waters flick, but it's not one of those John Waters flicks. Those are not
those other
movies.
Comfort ones.
Those are not comfort movies for me. It's a lot like Grease, but it's actually cool instead of being totally lame. Grease sucks. I hate that movie.
Oh, they're coming for you.
Oh, I know. I'm sorry.
The T-Birds, they're heading your way.
But Crybaby is actually great. It's about juvenile delinquents, and like they threaten to cut people up, but somehow it all ends up being super wholesome and fun, and the music is amazing. Johnny Depp is amazing in it. The female lead, whose name is currently escaping me, is incredible in it. I highly recommend that if you want to see Grease done by somebody who's actually a little bit punk rock, Crybaby's the way to go. And then I watched a movie I hadn't seen before, a neo-noir by the Wachowskis, who are most known for The Matrix. Did a movie called Bound.
An open invitation like Violet comes once in a lifetime.
I need your help, Corky.
Only a fool would refuse.
It's over $2 million.
Because all money
Oh my God.
Look at this shirt. It's ruined.
is good money.
You're asking me to help you fuck over the mob.
That stars Gia Gershon and Jennifer Tilly as lesbians.
Oh,
yes.
Say no more.
Yeah, and it gets really hot.
And I want to talk about Gina Gershon.
Okay,
because
she's good, isn't
really
she?
hot.
And Jennifer Tilly is married to this asshole mobster man. And they hatch a plan to steal all his money and disappear into the night. So it's about two lesbians getting one over on an asshole man. And it's done in that old noir way. It's got the cheesy noir dialogue, you know.
See, kid.
Yeah, see, kid. You know, that melodramatic.
Me and my girl Friday, we're going to head to the newsstand later on, see?
Yeah. Of all the 2-bit offices in all the 2-bit towns, she had to walk into mine. Yeah, it is fucking great. I highly recommend this one, especially to Gill, actually. I think you would love that movie.
Thank you. We'll do.
What?
I said, thank you. We'll do. Sorry.
No problem. I missed what you said. That's all.
What?
What? I'm sorry.
You're gonna take it and you're gonna like it.
Oh man, it's great. Jennifer Tilly's great in it. Gina Gershon is great in it. Highly recommend that.
That does it for the After Dark.
That does it.
That does it.
I don't know why, but everybody looked very angry at me like all at once. What did I say?
No.
That does it.
He sounded fucking pissed, bro. That does it.
That does
this
it.
episode.
Why do I sound like I'm Jersey? Jersey.
Jersey.
Cabs are here.
Well, that does it. See, kid, for this episode.
She was 3/4 leg and all woman.
Getting my heart pounding. Well, that's it for our After Dark episode. We'll be back soon with another one. But until then, back to the padded room with you.
The boys wanted me to wish you peace and happiness. These guys aren't just a bunch of goofballs. They know that there's plenty of suffering in the world, but they tell me that there's this all-pervading happiness underneath everything. And the more time I spend with them, the more I believe it. And so we wish you peace and happiness, and long live Eraserhead.
Having too much fun these episodes.